Three-time NBA All-Star, three-time All-NBA, NBA Most Improved Player, All-Star Rookie Sophomore Game MVP. This guy was the real deal. But I expected more from this guy. He was one of my favorite players of the time, but something happened. Some reason, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Gilbert Arenas' growth was stunted. Let's get it! Gilbert J. Arenas, born January 6, 1982. High school, he would often sneak back into his old elementary school and shoot for hours in the deserted gym. Gilbert was voted 1997 Valley Pac-8 Player of the Year as a sophomore, as well as Los Angeles All-City. He would earn those dual honors twice more as a junior and senior. After Gilbert's junior year, during which he averaged just under 30 points a game, he applied to a math and science magnet school in Sylmar and joined the school's summer league team. Now standing 6'3", Gilbert made the move to increase his level of competition. At the start of Gilbert's senior year, he wandered over to the UCLA campus and talked to the coaches. He and his dad had long dreamed of wearing the Bruins uniform. The school had shown some interest in him, but the deal the Bruins told him was that they were waiting to hear from Carlos Boozer, who would eventually sign with Duke. UCLA was also worried about Gilbert's attitude, believing he had run up the score on so-so opponents in high school. His academic record was also a concern. Ultimately, the Bruins would regret their decision to pass on Gilbert. They had all sorts of trouble at shooting guard the next 2 years, while Gilbert torched them whenever he met them in the Pac-10. In Gilbert's debut in an Arizona uniform for the blue team in the Pepsi Red-Blue preseason scrimmage, he scored 22 points and hauled down 5 rebounds in front of a ruckus student crowd. A couple of weeks later, he was voted MVP of the preseason NIT after pumping in 20 points and registering 5 steals against Kentucky in the championship game. Gilbert was an excellent fit for the Arizona up-tempo style, and he came up big on both ends. He scored 15.4 points per game on 45.3% shooting from the field. He was also spectacular on defense, averaging 2 steals a contest. Arizona entered the NCAA tournament as a number 1 seed, but the team was beat up from a hard regular season. Jefferson was coming back from a stress fracture in his foot and was not yet playing at full speed. Woods, the key man in the middle, was sidelined by an aching back. In their opener, the Wildcats appeared tight against Jackson State. They led by only 8 points at intermission. Arizona found its rhythm in the second half, pulling away for a 71-47 win. Next up was a dangerous Wisconsin squad. Gilbert was the high man with 21 points, but the Wildcats lost 66-59. It was small consolation that the Badgers continued to roll all the way to the Final Four. The Wildcats headed into the NCAA tournament like a team on a mission the next season. Gilbert was on fire in the opening game against Eastern Illinois, nailing 9 of 13 shots from the field for 21 points in a 101-76 win. Next, Arizona choked off upstart Butler 73-52. The Wildcats and Blue Devils would show up in an exciting final, which fans of Carolina remember for the brilliant all-around performance of Shane Battier. The Wildcats would go on to lose that game, and Gilbert Arenas declared for the NBA draft. Lute Olson said he was too young and he wasn't ready. After a productive college career, Arenas entered the 2001 NBA draft. Despite strong consideration from many teams in the first round, Arenas fell to the second round, being selected with the 31st pick by the Golden State Warriors. Arenas would wear the number 0 on his jersey to signify the number of minutes that experts predicted he would play in the NBA. Arenas started 30 games and averaged 10.9 points per game for the season. In the 2002-2003 NBA season, his second year in the league, Arenas received the NBA's Most Improved Player Award and was named the MVP of the Rookie Sophomore Game during the NBA All-Star Weekend. 2002-2003 season, he signed with the Washington Wizards, reportedly after flipping a coin to decide among several teams, including the Wizards, Warriors, and Los Angeles Clippers. He signed a 6-year, $60 million contract with the Washington Wizards. Arenas battled a strained abdominal muscle injury all season. However, Arenas teamed up with shooting guard Larry Hughes, who was averaging 22 points per game, to give the Wizards the highest scoring backcourt duo in the NBA. He guided the team to a 45-win season and the first playoff berth since 1997. Arenas led the team in scoring with 25.5 points per game and finished 7th in the league in that category. He also finished 6th in the league in steals per game. He guided the team to a 45-win season and its first playoff berth since '97. Arenas led the team in scoring with 25.5 points per game and finished 7th in the league in that category. He also finished 6th in the league in steals. In an overtime game versus the Lakers on December 17, 2006, Arenas scored a career-high 60 points, adding 8 rebounds and 8 assists, helping the Wizards lead the Lakers and to a win 147-141. In February 2007, during the final days of All-Star voting, Arenas was voted a first-time starter, edging Vince Carter. At the time, he was averaging 29.7 points per game and led all Eastern Conference point guards in scoring and was 2nd in the league. This brings me to the first time I think Gilbert Arenas' growth was stunning. Towards the end of the 2007 season, Gilbert Arenas would tear his MCL during a game against the Bobcats when Gerald Wallace fell into his leg. Arenas would be out for the entire next season, would rehab and return, but just was not the same as before the injury. He would continue to suffer knee injuries in the following years. On June 9, 2008, Arenas officially opted out of his final year of his contract. Arenas also stated that he would consider re-signing with the Wizards if they were able to retain fellow free agent and teammate Antoine Jamison. The Wizards indeed signed Jamison to a contract. Arenas was offered a 5-year contract worth more than $100 million by the Golden State Warriors and another max deal by the Wizards, a 6-year deal worth $124 million. On July 13, 2008, Arenas signed a contract worth $111 million over 6 years with the Wizards. Stunt number 2, Gunman, / The Troll Father. On December 24, 2009, it was revealed that Arenas had admitted to storing unloaded firearms in his locker room at the Verizon Center and had surrendered them to team security. In doing so, Arenas not only violated NBA rules against bringing firearms into an arena, but also violated DC ordinance as well. On January 1, 2010, it was reported that Arenas and teammate Javaris Crittenton had unloaded guns in the Wizards' locker room during a Christmas Eve argument regarding gambling debts. The DC Metropolitan Police and the U.S. Attorney's Office began investigating, and on January 14, 2010, Arenas was charged with carrying a pistol without a license, a violation of Washington, D.C.'s gun control laws. Arenas pleaded guilty on January 15 to a felony of carrying an unlicensed pistol outside a home or business. On January 6, 2010, Arenas' 28th birthday, the NBA suspended Arenas indefinitely without pay until his investigation was complete. By nearly all accounts, the league felt compelled to act when Arenas' teammates surrounded him during a pre-game introduction prior to a game with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he pretended to shoot the guns made by his fingers. Arenas was suspended for the rest of the season. He wrote an open editorial in the Washington Post in which he apologized for his actions, particularly for failing to be a better role model to young fans and for making light of a serious situation. On March 26, 2010, Arenas was convicted for his crimes and was sentenced to 2 years probation and 30 days in a halfway house. Stunt number 3, and in my opinion, Gilbert Arenas was just simply washed. He was done. On December 18, 2010, Arenas was traded to the Orlando Magic for Rashard Lewis. Arenas chose to wear number 1 on his jersey in honor of his favorite player, Penny Hardaway. He was the backup point guard with Jameer Nelson at the starting role. The Magic finished 52-30 and clinched the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference and made the playoffs. However, the Orlando Magic lost to the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games in the opening round of the playoffs. On December 9, 2011, after the end of the 2011 NBA lockout, Arenas was waived by the Orlando Magic under the amnesty clause, being the first player to be waived under the newly established clause at the time of its inclusion.
Arenas. It's in. Hibachi.
On March 20th, 2012, the Memphis Grizzlies signed Arenas. He was once again the backup point guard with Mike Conley at the starting role. The Memphis Grizzlies finished 41-25 and clinched the 4th seed in the Western Conference and made the playoffs for the 2nd time in a row. However, the Grizzlies lost to the Clippers in a full 7-game series. On November 19, 2012, Arenas signed with the Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese Basketball Association. In his first season in the CBA, Arenas averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists per game, and also 27 minutes per game. He played in 14 games and started in 8 of them. However, the Sharks finished 10-22 and missed the playoffs. Nowadays, you can catch Gilbert Arenas as a regular on TMZ, at a random Summer Drew League, or trolling on the internet. But I must say, this guy was one of the most electrifying guards of my time, and I'm hoping he could turn it around. Now, there's no NBA comeback, and he already secured the bag to his future. But I would like to see him be a little more serious and show the world that he's grown up. He was supposed to be a Hall of Fame player, but I doubt that's gonna happen. I'm JC with Stunted Growth.